Welcome back to the poll position. The election is just a day away, and I shall be giving my prediction for the next Parliament after Thursday's election. I'll first start with how the results are predicted, then what many major pollsters are predicting, then my own predictions as well. Pollsters are almost unanimous in their verdict that there will be a Labour majority in the next Parliament. This is estimated through the collection of numerous polls from various groups. This collection of results is used to plot an average result for each party that is then used to estimate the way people will vote and how the change in the vote share will affect the seat share in Parliament. This is partly done by calculating the relative national swing, which is how the positions of the two major parties have changed relative to each other, rather than a direct change in the vote share. This is calculated by adding the increase or decrease in the votes from the two largest parties and dividing the result by 2, allocating the swing to the party that has increased the vote. In practice, that would mean if Labour gained 10% of the vote and the Conservatives lost 20, you would add 10 and 20 to make 30, and divide 30 by 2, which would give us a swing of 15% from Conservative to Labour. A Sky News MRP poll from YouGov on Wednesday saw Labour increase their vote with a share of 39%, up from 32%, whilst the Conservatives are on 22%, down from 44%, which is an increase of 7 points for Labour, whilst the Tories are down 22%. Added together, this would equal 39, which if divided by 2 would equal 19.5%, which would be a 19.5% swing from Conservative to Labour. Pollsters estimate that Labour would require at least a 12.7% swing to get a bare majority if it was the same in every seat. Other factors are also taken into account, including demographic subsets and voting trends in different seats, that contribute to the predictions which are used to predict the rough swing in every seat across the country. Using this rough method, we can see a surprising amount of difference in the polls, with Polling Report UK estimating that Labour would win 370 seats, whilst the Conservatives would win 195 as of Wednesday the 3rd of July. This is much further down for Labour than other pollsters, with Election Maps UK predicting Labour with 440 seats and the Conservatives with 98. The issue with these predictions is that they use different methods of analysis when they estimate the vote share in individual constituencies, meaning their models are quite varied as we have seen. Another way of predicting the result is through MRP polling. Multi-level regression and post-stratification polls are polls taken with a much larger sample size and more fine-tuned sampling. They use the data collected and see how people with different characteristics vote, and apply that data to predict how constituencies will vote based on the demographics of each individual seat, rather than relying on a uniform national swing. A recent MRP poll by Survation that was published on Tuesday predicts that Labour will win 484 seats compared to the Conservatives winning just 64 and the Lib Dems winning 61. The analysis indicates that Labour has a 99% chance of receiving more seats than they did in 1997, and could win as much as 517 seats in this election, whilst the Conservatives could win as much as 99 seats, which would be the worst result in the party's history if replicated. In addition, Reform UK is expecting to pick up 7, whilst the SNP are expected to win just 10, with their leader's seat in Aberdeen South looking likely to go red. YouGov's final MRP has put Labour with a smaller tally with 431 seats, compared to the Conservative tally of 102, with the Lib Dems on 72, Reform and Plaid on 3, and the Greens on 2. But what do I think? Well, I don't have access to the resources of YouGov or Survation, but what I do have is the knowledge of the various estimates from almost every major pollster in the country, lots of spreadsheets from polls across multiple organisations, and I can count, so I'll do my best. My estimate is that the Tories won't lose quite as many seats as some are predicting, largely due to the slump in the polls that Reform are facing, which is largely to the benefit of the Conservatives. Labour, on the other hand, have seen a slump, going from roughly 45% in the polls before the election was called to just 40% on average, which will make a difference in some marginal seats. However, they still hold a huge lead in the polls. The Reform Party may win seats, but they have an uphill battle in many of them, as they previously never stood candidates in any Conservative seats in 2019. I would estimate that the Conservatives will win over 100 seats, with the number in my mind being around 100 to 140. Labour, on the other hand, could definitely break their 1997 record, with my estimate being around 410 to 440, whilst the Lib Dems could gain between 50 and 70 seats. I would say that the SNP will win between 10 and 25 seats, whilst Reform and the Greens could both win between 1 and 4 seats, and Plaid Cymru could win between 2 and 4. Altogether, this is going to be a very interesting election. With an election like this, I'd like to leave this message. Whether you are left or right, Labour or Conservative, the most important thing you can do tomorrow is vote. It doesn't matter to me how you vote, as it's your decision and your business. All that matters to me is that you cast a vote tomorrow. The right to a vote is the most fundamental right that we have, and the most powerful. It is the one time where all of our voices are heard, no matter who we are, and it is the one time where power truly lies with the people. For those reasons, it is my opinion that the right to vote should never be taken for granted. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. The account name is in the description below. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.